Super Cool Radio!
Hello, everyone. I am Matthew Thomas. This is Super Cool Radio. Have a very special show lined up. Joining me at this time from California, please welcome premier rock band Scultone.
Yeah, it's great to be with you, Matthew. Thank you.
Great to be with you. I'd like to give a special shout out to you, Matthew, for giving us the airtime. We really appreciate it. Also on your when you spin the records, it's really nice to hear our songs on the radio. Thank you for that. Also, we'd like to thank Christina Avila, our East Coast promoter. She's been doing a great job for a lot of people, a great job for us. And also, we'd like to thank our manager, Marvin Yates, here in California. So I think that pretty much covers it. If we forgot anybody, then we'll catch you next time. I like to thank my hairdresser, too, but I can't. So
I wouldn't thank him. I wouldn't, but that's me.
Is putting on a hat really a hairdresser at that point?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, of course, big thank you to Christina Avila for making this interview possible. Really great promoter. I really enjoy working with. Big shout out to her. So people should be familiar with at least some of the band members, as I've already interviewed Carlos Arroyo, which is a very fun interview. And of course, I interviewed Doc as well, another great interview. But also joining us, we have Shawn on guitar and Paul on bass. Thank you guys so much for a full band interview with Skulltone.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, we're excited to once again have some fun.
Oh, I think we definitely will, and now we got even more people to add to all the craziness, so this is going to be good.
Yeah, awesome.
So I kind of heard from Doc and Carlos about their journeys and stuff, but for Shawn and Paul, how'd you guys become musicians before Skulltone?
Shawn?
all right, Shawn, go ahead.
Well, so I grew up in Burbank, so I pretty much was thrown into the music and film business from childhood. So, I grew up with like Randy Rhodes, lived around the block from me. So I hung out with him, and he's kind of the one. I worked at a music store when I was like 14, which I wasn't really allowed to. But I started, Randy started giving lessons there, and that really got me into guitar and playing, learning music and theory and all that other stuff. And then I got a little recording studio, so I've been pretty much doing music my whole life, and it's just my passion. So that's it for me, all music.
Yeah, well, with me, I'm from Orange County here in the punk rock mecca. Back in
the day.
We were the mecca of punk rock. Besides English punk rock, anybody was coming out of Orange County. And I was hanging out with those anybody's, the Adolescents, Social Distortion, DI later on, all these major bands that came out of this area. We're not talking about this new stuff, we're talking about the older stuff. And started playing that 3-chord garage rock and roll. And went to school and wanted to be a guitar player, but I was very, always pushed me to bass because nobody wanted to play bass. Everybody thought it was a thankless job. But now I'm thankful because I get a gig anywhere I go, basically. And to me, it's just fun. And I'd rather be called Sick Boy because that's my handle. And I don't mind being called Paul.
We can call them other things.
We call them other things, but
That's between us.
That's between us,
I mean, we won't go there because the PC police will be after us.
Again.
Yeah.
I thought that was already done last week.
That's why we don't let them out much, just rehearsals and gigs.
Exactly.
You know.
I'm not politically correct. I'm very incorrect. I'll try to be very.
He's all right.
He's all right.
He's in good company. You've heard some of our music, I'm sure. And I don't think it's pretty far from politically correct at this point. But.
Yeah.
And that's all right. You got a home here on Super Cool Radio. I'm okay with it. But it's kind of cool for both of you guys. So obviously you grew up, Shawn grew up on Randy Rhoads and, taking lessons from him. And then Sick Boy, obviously, on punk rock. So kind of two different backgrounds, but also very cool at the same time.
Yeah, it's a great mix, especially we're writing, we've done this album and now we've already have like 8 songs we're working on, new songs for another album already, and we're still just starting to promote this one. And so it's kind of nice with the new mix in there, different views. So it's changing the songs we already play, and it's kind of changing them around a little bit and to fit I think a better style with the musicians we have. So it's getting to be fun.
Well, yeah, for sure. I think you definitely tell, like, in your guys' style of music, like, there's some songs that got a little bit of that punk rock influence, and there's some songs that have kind of like a little bit more like 80s rock, hard rock influence in there. You can kind of tell it's very spread out throughout your guys' music.
Yeah, and I think moving forward, like I say, we're combining these things together, so we're working more on a signature sound. So even like I said, the songs Doc and I've already recorded and stuff, we're redoing them a little bit to fit the new style. And I like the newer versions. They're not changing a lot, but they're changing, the personalities are changing them enough to give it our signature sound.
For sure, definitely like refining that style that is Skulltone. You definitely hear it like throughout the whole, the music we're talking about, the Dreamcatcher EP that was released last year, sorry. Which is definitely, I very much enjoyed. I featured it, as Doc has said, on my Super Cool Radio on air episodes. And it's just, again, a very nice blend of a lot of different music.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. And like I said, we just can't wait to get back and start playing that album live again, with COVID. We have shows already lined up coming up in the next 6 weeks. We've got some fun shows up in Hollywood and LA and getting back in the studio. We're going to try to get in the studio today and record a couple of the new songs today. So.
Oh, today even? Nice.
Today.
So, and before we start really diving into everything, I kind of heard this from Doc's perspective with the last interview I did at the end of last year. But for Sick Boy and Shawn, like, how did you guys join the band? I kind of heard it from Doc's perspective, but I'm curious from your guys' as well.
It's pretty funny, he reached out to me and, I was kind of just searching for different projects and just meeting and networking. And the funny thing is I think we both auditioned at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Same night.
Same time. And
on different instruments.
Yeah, on different instruments.
Shawn was going to play bass and Paul was going to play guitar.
And he texted me, he's like, "Are you bringing a guitar too?" And I'm like, "Sure." And so I did, but we started on different instruments and, we connected pretty quick and then we started talking and we decided we wanted to trade. And so we traded, and I think it works out better because I think he's a way better bass player than I am.
I would agree.
Yeah, we all agree.
Vice versa, the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was funny because the way I went about the situation, I just wanted a gig and I wanted to play bass. Because I was tired of playing guitar. I go through these periods that I'm not like most guitar players, like, oh, guitar. I go through periods where I want to play bass, I want to play guitar, I want to play bass, I want to play guitar, and I can't make up my mind. And there was this ad, and I said, okay, I'll just send back, say, hey man, I'm available to play bass. Well, Doc reaches out and goes, hey man, yeah, come over. And he sets up the whole thing. I go over there. He goes, bring your guitar, right? I go, okay, cool. I'll play guitar, whatever. I get there, we start playing, we start jamming. I'm jamming on guitar. I'm, oh, this is cool. But the drummer, Freddie, was really good. And I liked how he moved and grooved. So I wanted to get on bass. And I'm like, how can I get on bass? Because nothing against our music, but Carlos here, he's like this glam guitar player.
Spandex, man.
And it's all cool, but it's not my style. I'm straight up, or I play heavy metal straight up and grind and play. But the way he plays, I like it. And there's nothing. I don't take nothing away from Carlos. He's a great musician, but not my style. But for the bass, I'm like, this is great for me. And so Shawn and I start talking, and Shawn's like, yeah, man. And I said, well, dude, check this out. Let's just trade, right? And I just felt like he was uncomfortable in the bass. And right when we traded, he comes out of his shell, and now he's like jumping around and, oh, do this, that, and oh, blah, blah. And now I'm forgotten, but it's okay. It's just right up my alley. It's all good.
It's better for me, though.
Yeah.
They just got to remember, I got the bigger instrument.
Yeah.
That's all they need to know.
And you know,
I don't know.
And he plays bass. And he plays bass. So, you know.
We need to verify that last statement, but
Yeah.
we'll get back to you on that one.
well, we have a bunch of ladies here.
Yeah. And they're going, no. So, you know, so.
Hey, I'm talking about the bass, right? I know what they're talking about. I told you, I'm the only heterosexual male in this band. I'm telling you.
Oh man.
I mean, for me, I really like switching back and forth, and I liked going to the
Really?
because
On the same conversation?
You like switching,
man.
musically.
That's not a good sentence to follow up what was just said. But
It's a follow-up, exactly.
And Carlos, you know, he has a lot of experience with some of the really cool 80s bands. And like my girlfriend, we talk about a lot of these 80s bands, and I think a lot of people agree that the 80s was probably one of the biggest eras in just history of music, of just whether it was hip hop or rap or new wave or metal or rock. I mean, just so many great things came out of that era. And so it's kind of nice, like having I have like some older style, and so our styles kind of mix together, and Paul like brings down this heavy groove, so it's a lot more fun. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the music better too. It's a better mix. Like they were just saying, because the personalities on stage completely changed. You know, when we were playing before, Shawn would just kind of sit almost behind the drums, kind of just quietly playing bass. The moment he put on the guitar, he's in the front of the stage. You know, so it changed our look on stage too, the personality wise and the energy wise. So I think it was a great switch.
well, it's hard to move around with the bass. You feel like you're going to kill somebody with it. I mean,
It's like 8 feet long, right?
That's why I'm telling you, I got the bigger instrument.
Are we back to that?
We're back to that.
I'm stuck on that one.
we're talking about the bass people. Let's clarify now. Long impressions. Too many people got their mind in the gutters over here now. But I do think the change, you could feel it in the music. Everyone is comfortable with the instruments that they're playing. The spot they're in the band. Everybody's very comfortable with it.
Yeah, I think it's a great difference. I mean, we did our first live show together, and it was a good show. It was a really good show at the Trip. You know, we dedicated to our late guitar player who had just passed away. So it was a very special show. His parents were there, his family, and it was important to us to do that kind of a show for him. You know, in his memory and stuff. And we played the show. But then right after the show is when they switched instruments. Like, wow, what a great difference! What a great energy.
Then we had to cancel our last show because the drummer got COVID.
He got COVID. That's why he's not with us. He's under COVID protocols. So
Right, so we sat that one out. But we have 2 shows coming up, February 24th and then March 5th, both in Los Angeles area. So come on and check us out.
and I think it'll be a trip playing the Trip again, except on different instruments.
Trip. Don't trip over your cord at the.
Yeah, people need to come out, and you guys can judge for yourself how big my bass is.
It's gonna be the running gag for like the whole interview. So, all right, since we're talking about obviously live shows, I do want to talk about real quick was you touched on it a little bit, the EP release show. I believe that was in October. I want to say. So how was that? A little bit more in depth of like how was that show to actually release the EP and everything that was involved in the show as well.
It was that's the show I was just talking about. It was a great show, dedicating it. It had kind of it meant a lot to us, not just because we're releasing an EP, but we were also doing it in tribute. So it was very something that we'll always hold dear in our hearts. And it was just great having our first show together, having a great crowd come out and see us play. A couple of good bands opened for us and supported. So it was just a wonderful show. I'm just looking forward to our next one.
Yeah, it was a great show. It was a great show. It makes me think of all four of us sitting here. All four of us have lost a band member from overdose. And so we all think back about that sometimes, and some of our music comes out that way too. But we're all sober now, at least to the extent we can be, and but no more hard stuff. Let's put it that way. So head's clear, everything, head's on straight, going forward, the music, and that's our concentration right now.
It's very good focus to have, especially with everything. But for live shows and stuff, like what can people expect from a Skulltone live show?
A lot of energy.
A lot of energy. A lot of energy. A big bass.
Carlos will melt your face up. Carlos will do the face. The
face melting solos is what everyone calls it. The face melting solo. And then we're playing new material. Besides playing our album, we've already there's 2 or 3 songs that we're already performing live at our next show that we've already written. We're going to record today and then and get to debut them live. So we've got, besides our new energy, we've got new music. And with all the songs we're working on, that's what we're going to shoot for every gig, trying to put a new song out there, something even better, more exciting than what we've already done.
What's funny is that I could sit here and try to sell you on what we can and can't do, but I think it's more about the music than it is about a stage show, because just me being on stage is funny enough. So you guys can have tons of fun with that. My big bass, but I'm telling you, our music is in your face and you'll have fun, you know what I mean? Because I think the fun is connecting with the people, and once you've connected with them, then the music should do the rest. And if that's not doing it, then I'm in the wrong business. I should just go back to my old business, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah, I kind of like, our last show, Paul and I were getting our stuff loaded, and there was like a group of people, I think they were from Argentina or something, and they're like, hey, that was a really cool show, and they're talking to us, and so it's kind of nice getting to meet so many different people, and everything's been so locked down. People have been so isolated. It's nice just to get out and just have that human experience again.
Kind of brings up the other issue too, Argentina. Since you got, we did the interview with you, I did, and Carlos did, and now we're doing this one. So we're getting a lot more FaceTime out there to the public. Also, since you spun some of our music a while back, we've also become pretty popular overseas in the United Kingdom. So we're getting a lot of radio play over there right now, a few times a day, a few different radio stations. So it's kind of turned out to be something pretty, a lot more than we hoped for, but and we made it there. So
and quickly, it's happened. It's happened. Like I said, thank you, because you were the first one to play our music, on the radio station, and have us on you.
I haven't heard it lately, though.
Yeah.
I haven't heard it lately.
I'm working on a few shows. I still got a lot of stuff to put together. I'm working on it.
Yeah. But since then we're like you were saying, we're starting to get airplay in England. That people have reached out from Europe, in South America. So it's getting to be really quick. I mean, we just came out with the album in October, and it's already starting to spread pretty fast. So word of mouth is out there, and the exposure. It's like we were saying, that's why we want to start doing live shows again, because you can't be heard if you can't be seen. So that's what we want to work towards, is having more people see us. We want to shoot a couple of videos also to make us a little bit more visible, not just our music, but they can at least see what we do and see our energy, you know, and we'll put them out on the internet and we'll send it to you first.
There you go.
So, yeah.
You can premiere the video.
You can premiere the video. So we're going to start. That's another thing we're going to start working towards also.
Yeah, I'm definitely in for that. I'm really glad to hear the amount of exposure you guys are getting, and you know, the airplay, radio time, all that stuff. I'm very happy for you guys. It's also warms my heart to know I was the first one to play it. I'm awesome. I'm definitely that's something I'm gonna hang my hat on for sure. But you guys are gonna hit Europe and South America. Gonna do some tours then?
We'll play anywhere. It's, you know, it's
Play on Mars if they can get us there.
yeah.
Talk to Elon Musk. You might be able to.
Yeah.
We're working on it. I think, you know, with the COVID, like Carlos and everybody was talking about, it's been kind of slow, and people are reticent to book, you know, too far in advance because, like the last show we got, you know, we ended up having to, you know, shut it down 3 or 4 days before the show. You know, the show still went on, but, you know, it was kind of, you know, a little less than what I think the promoter had hoped for without us being there. But, you know, it went on. It was a nice show. I went and watched and, you know, whatever. But I'm not sure where I was going with this. I was talking now.
Yeah, that's what happens when you do drugs, bro.
See, we're clean and sober, but we're still getting those effects back.
But anyways, on where we're going to play, we'd like to play across. We'll play anywhere, like Carlos said. You know, it'd be great. And we're working on that. And once I think England's now lifting all their mandates and bans and everything, so possibly we'll be over there shortly.
Yeah, as of tomorrow.
We talked about Costa Rica.
Costa Rica.
Talked about Costa Rica. We have some opportunities over there as well. So.
And Christina's working on trying to get us some shows back east because she's out of Connecticut. So that'd be nice to do some shows, do a tour back east, hit New York, you know, hit Connecticut, Boston, maybe those areas. So
Japan. We want to go to Japan.
Japan would be awesome.
Wouldn't it?
That would be awesome.
they love rock and roll.
They love rock and roll.
man.
Yeah, kind of ironic. I just started listening to the band Loudness this week too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're
I
really
was
awesome.
some stories about loudness.
I got stories about everything, but
He does. I can attest to that. He definitely does.
Well, trust me, I have the privilege of traveling with him here to Sean's spot for 2 hours. Trust me, I don't talk. I don't. I just get to sit there and just wish, dude, do I jump?
Open the door. Help me out.
Oh, traffic. Maybe I should just jump out now and walk. No, he's got some great stories, though.
He does. I think I've known Carlos for 7 years now, almost a decade, and I've heard them all 10 times. And they're still just as good. Especially when we get new band members or whatever, I get to hear them all over again. So for each band member, yeah.
It's fun for me because like a lot of this stuff that he's done kind of fits in with where I grew up and all those LA, Hollywood, you know, Valley Rockers and all those groups. So it's kind of cool for me. It like reminds me of, you know, growing up and seeing all that stuff. So
Yeah, definitely. I think our interview was like an hour, but I think we talked for like an hour and a half afterwards too, Carlos. I think it was a while.
yeah, it was almost I think it was an hour and 5 minutes, and we talked another 45 minutes after that. And we just kept talking and telling stories, and we had a blast. That was so much fun. So much fun.
It was definitely a lot of fun. And like Doc, if you hear the story again, be like, hey, I didn't think you added that part last time.
Well, they changed a little bit along the, you know, the way we go.
Yeah, it's like that fish has gotten bigger, right?
Right.
You know, so
I don't remember aliens coming down to see you play, but that's all right.
Well, they did buy tickets for our next show, you know, so
That's right.
We'll let you know how that went, you know, so.
I think that you think you're gonna have a hard time finding flying saucer parking in California, but maybe I don't know. Maybe you have to go.
Here in California, they got parking for everyone.
That's right. Except for the people who live here.
Yeah. Trust me, aliens got more rights than we do.
Yeah.
There's that. See, that's politically incorrect there.
Yeah, I see. Here I go. Don't get me started. I'm not talking about them aliens. I'm talking about the ones out there in space, people. Space aliens.
Sure you are.
All right, baby.
That's a good disclaimer to put.
Yeah, you know, we don't care where you come from or what your deal is. Just come out and support the band, rock and roll, and
Hell yeah, man, come
that's
on.
all we care about.
It'd be cool to see a few aliens with Scultone t-shirts on.
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
Maybe we'll do a Scultone shirt that says "Aliens are welcome."
There we
There you
go.
go.
Yeah. Aliens like big bass and small guitars. Eddie wrote a song about that, right?
I got a big microphone, so I can, there you go. I'm the loudest one out there.
Yeah. I think they're just overcompensating, but that's me.
Really? With all those face melting guitar solos? I had to tell him the other day we were working on a song. Carlos, we don't need a solo in every song, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I just need to let it
I got to scream.
Oh, but this is kind of a melody. Oh, no.
Well, I'm glad you guys brought that up. I got something to say about that.
I think I never thought I would see Carlos cry, but I thought I saw a tear in his eye.
And I thought how good he was. I'm so good, bro. Look at the tears rolling down my face.
That's it. I'm going solo.
You've been talking about it.
No, he's good. I mean, when we're playing, it gets so loud in the room, so I can't really hear some of the stuff that well. And so we did this recording of our live session. I soloed into his guitar track, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like really good.
Well, thank you.
What are you talking
What do you mean
about?
it's
That's
loud?
what you told me.
It's loud.
It's funny how he says it's too loud.
When anybody that's been in a rehearsal room knows what I'm talking about. You got sound bouncing in every direction. It's not like a studio where the rooms are treated with, like these studio blankets and everything's soft. It's rough.
It's funny that Shawn brings that up because Shawn and I both wear ear mics,
Oh, God.
Yeah,
so we
it
can
is.
control our volume. The other guys are getting blown out, but we're fine. So,
If it's too loud, you just too
Oh, there you go.
there you go.
If it's not loud enough, then it's just not good at all.
That's what I say.
I did go to one basement recording studio, and instead of blankets, they had pillows in the walls,
Oh yeah.
in the windows and stuff. He's like, "Yeah, my neighbor across the street was complaining that I was too loud while he was watching Wheel of Fortune."
Well, in the 70s, we used to use the egg crates. Remember the eggs that they come in? Remember those? We used to put those up because those were great sound barriers. So our studio would have the egg crates, and then you put the sound blankets behind it, and it would muffle the sound for people outside.
I remember going to Van Halen's. They had this studio. I forgot whose house it was, but it was one of theirs. And they had this garage that they converted, and it had carpet all over. And I'm like, this is cool. It's all soundproofed. And then, years later, you're like, that carpet does absolutely nothing.
But it looked cool enough that
It looked cool. It looked really cool.
Yeah.
Well, speaking on the loudness part, I've been playing with Carlo. We've been together for about 7 years now, and every time we show up at a show, we're loud anyways. But Carlos comes in with these two big giant stacks, and I think he points them right at me. Because it's funny, I've gone deaf in my right ear, and he's always on the right, so I'm pretty sure he's to blame for it.
You don't have to thank me.
So now I can't hear him anymore. But
And that was on purpose, so now it's good, So.
no, he can do whatever he wants.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. So as I'm kind of wrapping up this interview, I do got a few things I do want to touch on. So what are the goals for Skulltone for this year?
I think part of it is getting out and having people hear us, and see us. Because, like I say, we're a fun band. We have fun on stage. We try to project that with the audience. We want to get the audience and people more involved. When we were doing the shows before COVID up at the Whiskey, that place would be sold out. Every show we did was sold out. And we had people like Sylvia that was coming from back east. So we had people coming from all over the country to come see our shows at the Whiskey. And we were playing with some fun people with LA Guns, and Dennis Quaid. That was a great show. So it was great, Bang Tango. So it was some great double bill shows that we were doing. And we want to get back to that because it's fun. And then it's fun playing, like Shawn was saying, because, we grew up in these 80s playing with all of our friends. All of these bands, the Great Whites, the Van Halens, that's who we grew up playing with and doing shows with and hanging out. So we want to get back to that. We've been fortunate to be able to play with them again, all of our friends in these shows before COVID. So we want to get back to getting back with our friends, getting back and doing some shows, shooting some videos so that people can see us, and just having some fun and see where it goes from there. With the exposure, if we can do some shows in Europe, I'll play. Like we said, we'll play on Mars. And that's what we want to get back. That's our goal. And then once we get that going again, we've already have like 8 new songs that we need to get in the studio and record. So we want to keep evolving. It's not just playing what we play. We want to evolve to another level. And for us to be at that level, you see a band, and I do a lot of promotions, for bands and stuff and management. So you see a band playing and you hear them and you say, okay, how do I get them to the next step? Well, that's where we're at. It's like, okay, once COVID ends here and we can get back out to playing, okay, how do we get from here to here to here? And that's what we want to work on. We want to just work it in stages. Get it done, get people out there, play some new music, always be playing new music, so that people don't come see the same show. Every show different. And from there, if we can do that, then we can just build it at every show, have a different show, add to it. We're already talking about, we got to get a hologram with a dragon, and put the dragons on the side. So we were talking about that today, before the interview. It's like, okay, as we grow this, let's grow the show, and let's give people not just the music and the energy, but let's have some fun. Let's give them something to talk about.
And they can only look at us for, so long, and they got to look at something else. You know what I mean, on the stage. So.
Yeah, except for his, big bass.
I was going to make that reference. You beat me to it.
See, I told you my bass doesn't. I'm telling you, I'm impressive, bro.
I also have to clarify, we're still talking about bass at this point.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what else we'd be talking about besides this band. But I'm telling you right now, I know these guys have these pipe dreams, but I don't. I think that all I want from this band is that we beat every other band that we play with.
Well, that's not much.
So, well, I won't be that goddamn arrogant, bro. Like a prize fighter, we're going to go in there. We're not going to underestimate nobody, but we're going to make sure that whoever follows us has to be better than us, because that's how good my bass is. No, that's all I want. That's all I like in music, is that I want to always be better than the next person. Yeah. Because music is not music anymore. It's not fun. It has to be fun. You know what I mean? It has to be fun. And we are fun. I just hope that how we are here, people can see up on stage. Because that's all it is. I can blow flames out my ass. Who gives a shit? What it is that we need to play.
We should try that.
We should try that. I'd pay to see that.
I'll try everything once, and if I like it twice, and if I really, really like it.
I'm so glad he's on that side of the stage. He's going to start blowing.
He's over there. Shawn and him are over there together. He can blow that.
So just in case, any other guitar players or bass players, in case they blow themselves up at our next show.
So come out and see him blow himself up.
Blow himself up,
I think
that'd be some good promotion.
Or my hair.
Your hair and your other ear. Yeah. Doc will have to be doing his songs in sign.
That would be that'd be very interesting, but very hard to follow.
See, follow this.
That.
Nobody's gonna follow that.
That'd be like Kiss for their last tour. I think it was the end of last year. They had a painter open up for them. Literally,
they did. I was at that show.
You saw them.
I saw the show. The guy was amazing. He was amazing. He did a great Hendrix thing, and he sells them for charity. He sells them for charity. So yeah, he did. He did a bunch of paintings before Kiss came on.
It's interesting. It is interesting. I don't know what I think about that, since they kicked off DLR to bring him on.
Yeah. It was entertaining, and it was fun to watch a guy that talented, an artist that talented doing something in that short amount of time on stage, getting ready for Kiss. Because Kiss, when they put on a show, they put on a show. It's an extravaganza. So it was kind of, it was different having to get an opening band to try to get the crowd going. This guy was just throwing paint and so it was fun. It wound up being a lot of fun.
Well, that's good, and that's what it should be. No matter how abstract it is or how much fire you use, it should be entertaining.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Paul was hitting it on the head. Where it's when we go out to play, we just don't want to do the best we can. We want to be the best on that stage. It doesn't matter who we play with. We've had the privilege of playing with the Randy Rhoads and the Michael Schenker group, and some of my heroes, Vinnie Moore and UFO. And it doesn't matter who we play with. We're always going to rise to that occasion, and we're always going to be a worthy opponent on stage. And that's our goal. Is no matter who we play with, we're going to rise to the occasion, and you're going to see a fun show.
I think that's a really great goal to have. It's actually the first time I've actually heard a band say that, because you're only as good, as the people you're with. So like if you can top them and make them work harder, you're just going to better them, themselves, but also you at the same time.
Yeah, some of the best shows we've ever done as individuals and in other bands have been when we played with bands like that and just raised that bar. So it's like, man, I did a show years ago and we opened for Accept, and we were the opening act, and we did 3 encores as an opening act. And they said they've never had a band at 3 encores as an opening act. But it sure raised their level for their show. Their show was amazing. That's the best I'd ever seen them play then. So it becomes a fun, but it's a fun competition. We're all fun people. We all joke around, as you can see, so we're not the thing like, oh, we're going to blow them off stage. It's like, no, we're going to go out there and just put on a fun show. We're going to have a fun time. But the next band that follows us, you got your work cut out.
Well, like they're all saying, we show up ready to play. We show up tight. We're going to do our show. Whoever we're playing with, it's still going to be the same level. We're going to play at that level. We're going to give 150%. We're going to leave nothing on, without, when we walk off the stage, you might have to carry us off, but, we gave it our all. So that's where we're at.
Yep. I gave you my big bass. You think I was drunk or something? I was just thinking about that.
You're not getting more rides over here.
You guys give him a ride home. You give him his big bass a ride home.
Well, we know the bass is going to be on point. You guys got to step up your game.
Now we got to step up our game.
That's right. Well, I think Carlos is up to the challenge, but Shawn here, he can't even talk. He can't get him to stop talking.
The gears are turning. You gotta wait.
After this, we'll have a lot to say.
That's usually what happens with some people. I've had I had really short interviews, but then the conversation afterwards was like an hour, and I was like, why did you do this while I was recording?
I would do the after interview I did with Matt. Okay, we're off the record now, right? That's what you don't want anybody to see.
That was definitely a conversation. Another thing I want to touch on. So you guys, obviously, you're recording new music. You have some stuff in the works. You're actually recording later after this interview. What can you give some details about the music? Can you at liberty to say anything about the music you're working on?
Go ahead, Paul.
Well,
there's one of the songs working is Paul's newest one. It's a great song.
Notice how they say I don't talk or say anything.
Go ahead.
And now he's like, go ahead, Carlos. What about me? Do I
Okay, Shawn, go ahead.
nobody cares about the rhythm guitar player.
Shawn's got the floor.
Okay, go ahead, Shawn.
Okay, so part of the new blood kind of thing is all of us are really willing, like last weekend, it's like everybody came over to my house and we just sat here and we're like, we're not going to play. We're going to just sit down and talk and discuss our ideas. And, I've been in a lot of bands and really good bands, successful bands, and that's something that none of them did. A lot of people, they'll go and they'll just wing it and just whip up songs, or maybe have a couple primary songwriters in a band. But what I really like about this group is everybody brings their own thing to the table. And when we put it together, some of my favorite recordings in history have been a jazz musician with a, classical musician. You get these people together and you get, one of the biggest bands, Metallica, we used to live up in San Francisco and hung out with them before they got famous, and they were great. But once they got like Cliff Burton, who started bringing a lot of that theory and classical stuff, some of their greatest stuff was ever written. And I like that we're bringing all of our ideas together, and nobody's idea just gets tossed out. We just say, okay, well, let's mix this all together and see how it works. And I think some of those things, like even the Beatles, I mean, that's how some of those magic songs that stand the test of time occur. So that's what I like about this.
So what's the next song? What's the name of it?
So he can tell you about our next song, because it's a great
Probably
story.
have it out in a month, probably, or so. You'll be the first to hear it.
Yeah. No, it's a song that I wrote with my old bass player from a band that I had in the late 90s and 2000.
Gotcha.
Right when that new metal was coming in, and he passed. He's the one that passed away actually because of drugs, but that's neither here nor there. But the song itself is actually about how he felt about people, and him and I. That's all I like writing about. And that's, I guess, my background in punk rock is that I like writing about situations that are happening today. And I don't care if it bothers you. I don't care if it offends you. I really don't care, because the truth has to be told. And that's another thing about being a musician, is being able to have that voice. You know what I mean? You could be there and be happy music or whatever you want to be, but I'm more like, I want to express something. And it's just not going to be about women or about this. It has to be something that makes you think. The music catches you, but the lyrics will tell you how I feel, or whoever. And this band right here, what I like about it is that, and Shawn said, is that we're all creative. There's 4 egos here, okay? And this is the biggest one right here.
No.
You know what I mean? And I have a big ego, trust me. It's just, we all try to tame it, because Carlos if you allow Carlos, he'll write everything. He would. He just would. You know what I mean? But
I'm creative.
yeah. But Doc here, so I said, hey man, I sent him some things just on a whim, because he's all new music. So I sent him, and he liked one of the jams. I was cool. But like I said, moving forward, I think that all of us can create something, and that's when you see the real Skulltone, because what we have right now is what they had before, and we're trying to ride with that and put our voice to it, and that's kind of hard right now, but we make it work. But moving forward, whatever you hear moving forward, you'll hear the true nature of the beast, and the beast will grow. Trust me, look at my bass. It's getting bigger. Just like my ego. But no, I'm just very grateful. Hopefully you guys will hear it. It's called Harvest Sorrow. But once we get that done, and hopefully Shawn here will record it for us, and we'll get that done, we'll
send it to you.
Send it to you, and you'll be able to play it for us. And we'll have it done today.
Yeah.
We got these 2 ladies that are going to engineer for us. And
Oh, okay. I thought that was going somewhere else.
Gonna need your mind out of the gutters, Pete. We're having a serious conversation here.
I think his bass is out of tune. Hey.
Go back to the A, man.
I think a lot of it too. I think a lot of it.
No, stay on E. Just right E.
Well, last week when we had a rehearsal here, it's the first time we rehearsed here at Shawn's studio, and we talked and everything, and we brought 2 new songs to the table, and it was, without a doubt, it's been my favorite rehearsal in the 7 years we've been together. Because we were really sitting down, we picked apart everything. It's like, harmony here would sound good. Let's throw a bridge here instead, because it didn't have a bridge before. But it was my favorite rehearsal ever. Just us sitting in the studio, just working on new stuff, and everybody contributing instead of a song that Doc wrote or a song that I wrote, because we've written all of the songs so far. So it was a great session. I left here thinking, every rehearsal's got to be like this. It's got to. So we're taking even the older songs that we've already recorded, and we're picking those apart. Now it's like, okay, let's start from the beginning. Let's start fresh. Okay, we have the song. Let's go through it. Let's pick it apart, and let's add or take, and let's make it Skulltone 2022. So that's what we've done with the existing songs that Doc and I have written, and now with the newer songs. That, like say, last week's rehearsal was my favorite ever. Just sitting down, 4 guys, no drums, just kind of working on material,
and the
ideas, and great guacamole. That's a great guacamole. Yeah, that was really good.
It was great.
Yeah, so and that's what we want. We want moving forward every session that we do to be that important. I saw an interview with Paul McCartney one time, and he says when John Lennon and I would get together, we wouldn't leave the room without a complete song, because it didn't matter if we had to stay there for 18, 20 hours, because we just sat down and expressed ourselves together until we meshed something that was going to be great, because everything they did was great. And that's what we're working toward. We want to be that kind of a band, a Beatles type band, where when we get together and we write, we're not leaving till that song's finished. And that's what we did last week. We were here all day just on 2 songs.
Well, I have dinner reservations tonight, so I'm
so that's what we want to start doing. I think if we take all of these,
sing anyway.
He just shows up and sings anyway, and stuff. So that's what I think. If we put that kind of love and dedication to what we're doing, I think it's going to really reflect in the new stuff and in the older stuff. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to make music more fun for us, and I think it'll translate when we're on stage. People will look at us like, wow, listen to that new song. So, wow, they're having fun. And we want the audience to get involved with with the airplay. They'll learn the lyrics so we can have some fun with them and interact and stuff. So
you're gonna like the new song, guarantee it.
Yeah,
I look forward to listening to it. I really do.
Web Universe is gonna like the new one.
Definitely.
Hearts of Sorrow.
Sorrow. Yeah. Because we have that one and Don't Push Me Away, our 2 newest songs.
Oh shit, that's a good song right there. If I can learn it. That's a great song.
We've been working on it for 5 months now. We're gonna have it. One of those.
Well, I'm glad to hear you guys having fun, because I know that's that's honestly, if you guys are having fun, the crowd's gonna have fun, and everyone just has a really great time, and that connection with that crowd is very important, especially not only to progression music, but have a great time too.
Yeah, without a doubt. Like I said, I'm looking so forward to these couple of shows coming up, but I'm really looking forward to getting the new music and getting that new feel. I think the new feel, the new energies is, I think, what's going to drive our success.
I definitely agree. I look forward to listening to the new music you guys come up with, because I like the way you guys do it, especially even looking at the older songs too. You got obviously new perspectives on it, and it just making the music better, and that's a really great goal to have.
Yeah, it is. It's a great goal to strive for. It's like, let's be better than what we already are, and let's make the songs that we already have done better, and that'll give us more energy towards what we're working on.
Like they say, it's hard to get to the top, and it's harder to stay there. So, and we're always striving to be the best we can. So if the chorus are after us, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's your selection. If you want to play with us.
Bring it. Yeah, bring it. So
bring your A game.
Definitely, for sure. Anytime you're with playing with you guys, you have to step it up. Everyone around you has to step it up, and I look forward to seeing where you guys go for 2022. If I know I got to see you guys at the show sometime, and hopefully that'll be this year. I definitely wanted to see you guys.
Absolutely. We're going to Super Cool Radio is where we're going.
All right. I'm already here.
We'll have to do a live in the living room.
Yeah, we'll do a live one over there.
Maybe we can do a live in the living room show for you.
I'd definitely be down for that. I just have to buy expensive equipment to make that happen.
Well, for us, we have a studio here, so it's easier for us.
Sean will loan you some. He's got all kinds.
He's got all kinds of equipment.
They were talking about. I was excited because we're going to start recording, and I'm super biased about my studio. Like, I don't want to name drop, but I know some of the best studio owners in the LA area, and but I feel like they got some great gear and they got $1 million rooms, but I've got just cool stuff. Like Fleetwood Mac called me and gave me their old studio gear when they upgraded, and when I was working, back at Michael Jackson's house, he gave me one of his microphones. So I'm like excited to have, Doc sing through that microphone because I know he's going to just sound incredible through it. So
Somebody's dropping names again.
Yeah.
that's the only name I dropped.
You pick it up?
But he'll have to learn to moonwalk though, to use it,
I've seen him do it.
Yeah, he's got a moonwalk and he's got the come on, and stuff like that. So we'll get him to learn it.
Have I told you I know the local wino down the street?
He keeps playing that, but I don't know why.
I know that guy. Maybe a couple of drug dealers or something, but nothing interesting. I mean, the only thing interesting about me is
What is it?
His honesty.
No.
about my
big bass.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know how. That's like a perfect way to end this. So I'm gonna. I don't know how. That's like a perfect way to wrap up this interview. But please check out Stream Sport. Give a like to Skulltone. As with the last couple interviews, links will be in the description. Make sure to check them out and listen to music. And if you can, make sure to see them live. We got some great shows coming up. I'll leave some information in the description as well. But thank you guys so much for hanging out here. Full band interview with Scultone. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, man.
Yes, man.
For Doc, Carlos, Shawn, and Paul, I'm your host as always, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Super Cool Radio. Stay frosty.
Yeah.